Okay. We have another video for you guys. Akzz, or Akzz, AKZ, is that just pronounce their name, has requested a portfolio review. Now, usually the way that these work is when somebody comes through and wants help reviewing their work. It's usually because they want to increase their roles a little bit within the Designly server. Increasing the roles of the skill indicates a multiplier added to the number of tokens that they earn by interacting within the server. So that is what Akzz is applying for an expert role. Currently, they are in an advance. So let's just go ahead and take a look at some of the stuff that Akzz's got. Design is a formal response to a strategic question. A skill designer ready to help brands flourish. My areas of expertise is visual branding. Well, I kind of expected a Behance profile, so already off to a good start here. Going straight to that portfolio. Okay, it is a Behance profile. This little addition here is nice, though. Let's start with the poster designs, shall we? Okay. Okay, so with this one, this guy's hair looks like it was just the pen tool up here. This guy's hair, you can tell that it was also pen tool. You might want to invest into some investigation for some hair brushes and adding a clipping mask to those so that you're able to not work so destructively with these. The quality of each image also varies. This middle image here of the coach, presumably, is not as high res as the guy directly to the right of him or directly above him. Evidently, this is an entire team, but I don't know what's being asked here, right? It's a sports poster, from what I can understand, but it's not asking for an action. It's not asking me to be hyped up. Is this an event poster? Is there an event being hosted at some point? Is it a watch party? We want to make sure that when we're making posters, we're having clear intent. Otherwise, we're no different than just being artists that are operating without any rules. Next, we have this poster here. Again, no clear indication. The blurring of the birds here. Not too. I'm not too fond of these. I'm not quite sure why they're here to begin with. There's a weird blur right here for some reason. His arm, maybe this was when he was moving and such, but his hair is blurry. It's just kind of confused here. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Illustration. This is the only thing that he has for illustration. You only have one of this, so I would actually remove it entirely, because no one is going to be looking at this and be like, oh, well, AKZ's our guy. AKZ's our girl, right? You're not going to do that just on having one thing, right? So I would have this removed in its entirety. I know it seems as though you have a clear, distinct style, but this would be more impactful if there was movement. Logo animation, volume 1. Okay, we have some here. Okay. That's good. Now, my main concern is how much of this particular animation is completely custom, other than the droopy text itself. That's what I'd be asking myself, because it's really, really good. And I have my hesitations, and I apologize, but the previous posters and the quality of that don't give me a very good indication into this level of animation, right? If that makes sense. Here we have Delirium. Really good splash here. Man, I would love to see this After Effects file. This looks great. Main gripe is the logo here is blurry. Why is this blurry? It looks like there's a vibration of like a couple pixels there as it sets into place for some reason. I'm wondering if you had two versions of this logo and there was something weird going on with the placement and you added another one on top to the best of your ability. It might be like a few pixels off, maybe a pixel. There's like a jitter there. It's also on the text, like it's vibrating. That might be just, okay, that might just be like a on purpose thing. Okay. Oh, we have some sound now. Okay. Okay. So it comes in, kind of filling up with glow. Fills in again. That part is not attractive. Right here, it's just coming in, and then we're not really rewarded, right? All this like pizzazz, and it's just kind of like, it just vanishes the next frame over. I don't like that, personally. And then as you continue, the logo vanishes, and then so does the text. It doesn't fade with the icon, it just gets removed the next frame. So just things to keep in mind. What is the purpose of having this kind of fill in the space here and then have it fill in again, right? I'm a little bit confused as to what the purpose is of that. It's like introducing it twice. There's no point in doing that. GD. Okay. Exploding, some texture glitches. I feel like the keyframing on these is a little bit too smooth, if that makes sense. Like it's almost wavy, like water. When glitches are very cut across, right? Like very glitchy, very sudden, sharp. I don't get that impression. It's very like like it's moving in water. Not a fan of the logo at all. Extremely generic. I think you could have done better there. Honestly, that is not good. Now, something that you did well here is this reflection here. It's experiencing the same glitches as what's above. So that's good attention to detail, right? But I have to ask myself, like, why is there a reflection here? What is the purpose? Right? You have a few colors come forward. Right? Just like a lot of color, just for it to kind of just turn into a logo that's underwhelming. Sorry. All right. We get to see some mock-ups now. This logo is bugging me right off the bat. Thicknesses are everywhere. This thickness here. Then we have this huge hump. And I'm not sure if this is the same thickness as what's over here. But we have a tail hooking into connect to here. It's off center. These don't connect, and it's not the same thickness. I feel like it needs to come out just a little bit more to match this. I don't know what this hump is for, though. I'm not... Is it like a carabiner? Like things for your keys or for climbing? Right? I'm a little confused. I'm not... It looks very abstract. So... Goonsville. Comes with a video. Defining a generation. And then it doesn't really finish. It just kind of stops midway render. Letter G, head of a person. Strong bass. I think you're stretching this maybe too far. I appreciate the elaboration on this. The strong bass doesn't feel very strong. It feels like this is about to fall off with just a gust of wind. Authority and reliability, I'm not really quite sure. Like, are you referring to the color? I like the color scheme. I just don't... I don't get it. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. This is a very nice mock-up. Beautiful. Off-center. This pattern in the background is not great either. Different fonts here, it looks like. Built by modern pieces that speak for itself. Meant to be a form of escapism and not a form of imprisonment. The spacing here looks weird, like you double spaced on accident. Goonsville, another separate font, so 3 different fonts in one area. Another good, decent mock-up. Not a fan of this one. This pattern is really busy and overbearing. I feel like my eyes are choking on it. Goonsville, I mean... This font over here, exclusive styles that inspire, that's different than this up here. It's not consistent here. This is referring to it again. This is in a kind of square. Still off-center. I am not understanding it too much, man. Okay, that was the first logo, or I'm sorry, Goonsville clothing brand. Prime Cuts. No, I remember that you were posting about this instantly right off the bat. If I can zoom in here. Maybe. I don't think I can. Well, anyway. This has an outline here. Why does this have an outline? Just like how you've cut into the stake itself to create its shape here, you should have done the same for the bolt, because I can even see part of the back part of the stake here, right there, that little tiny speck. You won't notice it from a distance, but I'm just saying, right? Why is the circle not transparent? Why is font is good? See, like this. This looks great. Getting there, it needs a little bit more space. It feels very cramped. But it's getting there, right? You need to keep it consistent with that. This needs to be moved down just a little bit, more centered in with this particular shape. Plant-based meat. Really bland packaging. It's just one color with a black bar. Plant-based meat, I expect to see something plant-based. I expect to see leaves. I expect to see flowers. I expect to see something that reflects sustainability. It's just very bland. Right. The breakdown of the logo. Good. Not this. This doesn't carry the same weight. I think another thing that you've done as well, in terms of when you were organizing this through and through to different artboards, you do not expand shapes. So this thickness from this distance is a lot bigger than this one here and this here, right? This is very thin, and I have a feeling the reason why is because this is an actual outline rather than an actual subtraction from the underside of the shape, which is why it's leading to a thicker look here. And it's also the reason why you did not do the same here, because it's an actual line. Prime cuts provided high quality meat, best kind of cuts possible. I don't know why this is really hard to read. Just the stacking of this brown on brown and this really hard to read text. It's centered leaning for some reason. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Okay, that's it for that. Next we have third entity. Okay. This is looking much better. See like an arrow kind of being shaped here as well, which is obviously nice because it's going with the arrow shapes. Third entity is an agency that aims to provide service including coaching, strategy, and professional development. In addition to their ability to quickly connect the dots, will enable you to harness that power. It's a very professional description. The text type doesn't fit that. It's very kind of in your face, like a header font. I'd expect to have something a little bit more elegant, thinner, lighter to the eye. Powerful, purposeful in your work, in relationships, and in yourself. At third entity, we believe that the most creative is productive together than apart. The sum of us together is greater than ourselves alone. This looks great. Yeah. Here are the colors. Good. In an app format, looks great. Business cards. Let's see. Pretty uninspiring card. It's just a simple, like just a bland background. There's not really, like you have this pattern up here and you don't even use that on the business card. Right? I would have expected that because it's a nice pattern. And that just seems like the perfect way to utilize the pattern. So that's a little disappointing. The shirts look great. Good mock-ups. Not my type of clothing for sure, but you know, this is probably your better, like one of the better ones. I would have loved to see a little bit more explanation into how you came up with this kind of crown, sideways crown. Would have liked to see that. The use of the mock-ups is good. Noticing a pattern, you do need to work on your presentation when it comes to printed material. It just seems like you created this pattern for the sake of creating it, and then it was never used ever again. So just keep that in mind. Now, another one that I think this is kind of where you started really picking up in your skill. Oops. Oh my goodness. What's going on? Okay. You had redesigned the Midjourney logo, right? yeah, fantastic ad. What is Midjourney? This feels squished for some reason. Squished. Everything is really close together here. I think this is all one piece. Just work on your layout skills. This also seems, the logo itself seems altered in some way. Not sure what that is about. Letter J. Letter M. Midjourney, right? Great, right? Yeah, I like that. Midjourney, I'm not a fan of this font. It's a little bit too silly for me. It's like a ink pen kind of brushed its way through. Midjourney's tactile. I would have expected to see a little bit more firm font. Good demonstration of showing both. The typeface, Berlin Sans, semi-bold. Front versus back. Yep. I feel like you may have added an extra light source here. I don't remember if this particular mock-up has this bright of a light, but if it was me personally, I would have gone in and kind of reduced that brightness just a little bit, because it is a little, it makes it kind of muted. Great mock-up. Showing this once again, even though I don't know why. Showing this again. Oh, okay. So this is just kind of like the shareable version. Okay. Yeah, I mean, one of the better ones that you've done. This curve to the M here, it's a little bit strange right here. Just a little bit. It seems like it's dipping in just a little bit too hard. And with the sharpness that is this going into this J, does feel off-putting just a little bit. This bouncy roundness and sharpness mixed with this hard shapes with no roundness, no bounciness. Two themes are being combined here. I think you could choose one over the other. I would have liked to see a little bit more solid direction. Maybe either going with making the J a little bit more rounded, a little bit more curved like the M, or likewise having the M be a little bit more straight like the J is, keeping it consistent. But it is in the shape of a crown. It does help maintain the shape, and even, I think, even from a distance, it looks even better than up close. So, one of your better ones yet, for sure. Yeah, this is also one of your best. This red, it's intense with this dark blue. Probably would have turned this text to be white, just because it is like very overbearing my eyes right now. I don't know where to look. Dunkburger is a brand. Concept, the word dunk has been represented in the form of the burger. Yep. Fiery color red triggers appetite. Yep. CC drop case, solid, bold, and sharp. Great. I like that. This is a theme that I think you should continue, is when we're talking about the experience of someone going through one of these things. The fact that this continues on and stretches down, that was pleasing to the eye, having this color stretch down into the next part, right? Find more ways to innovate that further. That is wonderful. This mock-up over here is good. This one on the cup doesn't look like it mesh netted very well. Seems like it's not curved enough with no lighting. No like light that's like this. So I'm not quite sure what that's about. The fact that it can also be read vertically. And not a lot of places can do that. It almost gives like a very Asian type of feel to it. I apologize. For my Western brain, that's the impression, right? Because I'm thinking of like walking on the street in a country that, you know, predominantly Asian, and then I see a sign like this, even if it's in English, it's still giving me the that vibe, right? I think you could probably do away without the paintbrush here, just for the sake of like the verticality. I think it hurts its ability to do that. Fantastic mock-up, really great. There's this line here of combined artboards. Not a fan. I want to definitely make sure you fix that. The Dunk Burger pattern is not intuitive. I don't know why the spaces here are so thick over another. You could have done better with this pattern, because I've seen you do better. You could have done something with the paintbrush or the verticality of the logo itself. Good. These aren't the most HD objects, which is still fine. This looks strange. I know what you were trying, but no. We don't want to do that. Not quite sure what this round thing is. I don't know what. I've never been handed this at a restaurant. I don't know what this disc is. I mean, I guess it's branding, but I guess it would make more sense if she was like handing me a menu, right? Better than the Midjourney one for sure. You're continuing to evolve, which is good. And then finally, the logo folio. Fantastic use of the negative space here. This is going over everything strizzy. Prime cuts. Thank you for understanding that this thickness needed to be there. I would axe this Goonsville one entirely. Hoon, great. Midjourney, great. This, great. Erebus, great. I'm not quite sure what that is. Great. It's a little bit strange around these edges here. I think it does its job. The Hoon is good. I think the kerning between the H and the shape and the N and the shape is just off just a little bit. Yeah, axe that. Strizzy. It looks fine to me. Your best here definitely is the Dunk Burger. Yeah. Yeah, this needs a change of font. Looks great. I want to see more work that's of a similar style to the Dunk Burger, the Hoon, the Samurai look here, and the Erebus one. Because even though like I'm getting kind of like a street tattoo type of vibe here, there's a clear style distinct here, and I want to see that reflected from you moving forward. Period. Yeah, I definitely, my least favorite is Goonsville. I'd axe that immediately. Okay. So project views, followers 10, appreciations 48. Cool. From Dubai. Cool. When we think about a portfolio, we want to present our best work, maybe our top 3, right? In each category, like logos, posters, print, so on and so forth. I don't think that you need to have your illustration there. I don't think you need to have your poster design there. I would axe this last one here. It just... No. Here's a challenge, though. Going into 2023, Akzz, I would love for you to animate this logo here. And I'd like you to animate your Dunk Burgers logo in some fashion as well. If I were to personally approach these, I would actually keep this at a high frame rate, maybe at around 60, and it would actually drop the Dunk Burgers down to maybe 24 frames a second in After Effects. Keep it on a little bit more homegrown, a little bit more of like that kind of picture-esque vibe. So, those are my thoughts. As things are right now, I can't in good faith give you an expert role. I've actually passed your portfolio over to my other moderators, and they tend to agree. A lot of impressive stuff here. I think there's just a lot of cleanup that you need to do, and you're still in the process of discovering your style. And once I see more of that, once I see that you've gotten it down consistently, that's when it would be a good time to have a reconsideration of your role currently. But overall, great portfolio. This is why you have the advanced role. Really awesome stuff. But again, it's going to be a bit of a grind to get that expert role and boost in multiplier for tokens. Yeah. Keep working at it, though. Seriously, man. Really, really awesome. I know that you're going to be looking at this video from the future, but really, seriously, great stuff here. I think there's just certain styles that you need to double down on, though. And if you get clients that ask you to shy away from that style entirely, you should ask yourself on if you should have said no to them, right? So that's where I'm going to kind of end things off. Akzz spent approximately 1,500 Design Lead tokens to have this portfolio review done. You can too, heading over to designlead.gg over and join the server. Post your work, get some awesome critique from experts, and start earning those tokens so that you can get your work reviewed just like this. But I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday, and I'll see you in the next one.